what we observe nature is not nature in itself. Rather, nature exposed or nature exposed to our method of our questioning. This was told by Heisenberg. Uh, Consciousness, of course, is uh, has so much of perspective, and the way we question and the way we try to impose what is consciousness, the way we'll be getting the answer, because consciousness can be seen from mind, it can be seen from something elusive, it can be seen something which is very subtle, it can be seen something which is the finest, which is very difficult to define, and it can be also seen from a hierarchical order. Our Upanishads, of course, has a lot of insights that was given by the great sages and the munis in the ancient times. Upanishads must be anything around 5,000 years old or even more than that. If you get into the contemporary science, which is like neuroscience and the quantum physics, must be around 100 plus years. Whereas our scholars and our rishis has given and contemplated on this concept of the reality uh, uh, so many years back. And we have close to 200 Upanishads, but the text says that we have 108 and around 10, 11 principal Upanishads are there. So whenever you are trying to really understand consciousness, our seers and the sages during the Upanishadic time has given so much in the form of a dialogue. So Heisenberg was right because nature exposed to the method of questioning, and these Upanishads are all in the form of a dialogue between the guru and the shishya. So the guru shishya parampara was very, very existent that particular time, and it is through questioning the disciples is to really get the really crux of it. Um, if you take some of the principal Upanishad, we have Isha Upanishad, we have Ken Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, Prashna Upanishad, we have Mundak Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, Aitra Upanishad, and the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Of course, we have more Upanishad like Shvetashara Upanishad, and of course the list goes on. But these are some of the principal Upanishads that we are trying to understand, primarily from the perspective of the what exactly is consciousness. And in the Upanishad, of course, they get into the Atman and the Brahman, and one is the Jivatma and the Paramatma. And of course, as we deepen our study, we will find that there is no difference between the Jivatma and the Paramatma. So consciousness is a word where it is just a word with respect to its intrinsic presence. There cannot be any plural of consciousness. It is just a singular, and that is something that the humanity is trying to delve into. If you take the Shanti mantra of the Ishopanishad, and of course there are so many mantras of each of the Upanishad. Purnamadha, Purnamadam, Purnat, Purnamadachayate, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnavavashayate. I think that actually comprises the wholeness, that that is full, this is full, and this fullness has come from that fullness. And even if you take this fullness from that fullness remains. Maybe there's a very good way of understanding consciousness, that consciousness is vast, it is very spacious, it is beyond the human imagination, and one can take on and everything can come out of it, but still it doesn't get exhausted. So very succinctly and very profoundly it is being mentioned in the very first the Shanti mantra of the Isha Upanishad. And of course, the first mantra of the Isha Upanishad is Isha Vasya Idam Sarvam Yat Kanchita Jagatam Jagat Tena Taktena Bhunjinta Magrida Vishwaviddanam. The Isha Vasya Idam Sarvam, and Isha basically talks about the Lord, and the Lord, of course, is the all pervading, and consciousness is all pervading. It is here, it is there, and it is everywhere. Sarvam idam kalu Brahman. So everywhere that we find Brahman. So to a large extent, you will find that two metaphors, if you actually take from the Upanishads, is consciousness can be equated with self, that is Atman, and then succeedingly it is Brahman. Consciousness is also equated with light, and also sometimes with space. And the self and the light and the space is becoming a fantastic combination. Like you use the word called the drashta, which is the seer, and then there is a self-light. Self-light. See, again, light and self is coming together. So we talk about Atma Jyoti, and then since it is a power and it is a superpower, it is an inner controller. It is called Antaryami. And then also the next stage is it is self-luminous, and that is called Swam Jyot. So it is a drashta, that is a seer. It is self-light, that is Atma Jyot or Atma Jyoti. Then it is talking about an inner controller, that is Antaryami. And then of course it is self-luminous, it is called Swam Jyot. So we are trying to really equate the space and light with consciousness and so profundity of the knowledge that was given by the Upanishads. Let us talk about more into the space. When you say space, what is space? Very difficult to define space, and space is something even the physicists are trying to still even find. So is space just empty? Is it a vacuum, or is space contained in something? That is very, very far-reaching thought. Is space inside a higher or much more larger encompassing space? We don't know. So that is something called as dark matter and dark energy, which is inside the space. But where does the dark energy and dark matter has come from? These are all speculations, and human imagination has no bounds, and we will be always researching to really get into it. So if you take space, like if you talk about, say, in the ancient time, of course, people used to use those pot, ghat is what they. So there is a ghatakasha, that the space inside the ghat, space inside the pot, is also an akash, because there is space. And then there is a jalakasha, that is akasha, that the sky that is reflected in the water, jalakasha. And then there is dahara akasha, or the hridaya akasha, because the heart is a bigger space where our emotions comes from, and self resides there. Or of course self, we don't know exactly where it actually resides. It can be in the mind, that is, it can be in the brain, or it can be in the heart, or it can be in your entire self, it can be in your stomach. But hridaya akasha is something which is we generally speak about. And then we talk about mahatakasha, that is the larger sky. And then there is chittakasha. Chittakasha is the mind space. And then there is chittakasha, and that is actually the space of the consciousness we are talking about. So just to summarize, we are talking about ghatakasha, we are talking about jalakasha, hridaya akasha, we talk about mahatakasha, that is the sky, and then there is chittakasha. But to simplify this, actually, because we are trying to equate light and space and self with the consciousness, and the more you delve into the Upanishad, the more you will be finding its significance. So I have spoken about Isha Upanishad, and each Upanishad will be giving you some rather huge amount of tenets of consciousness, and it is a matter of intuition, it is a matter of falling in love with the Upanishad, that you will really get the juice out of it, what exactly is consciousness. Because I believe that consciousness is something which cannot have any epistemological domain, rather it has more of an ontological domain. Epistemology is a branch of philosophy that deals with knowledge, and ontology gets into the being. And whenever I study Upanishads, I actually get that kind of an ontological state where you feel that you are getting connected and a feeling, and you elevate your feelings to understand that consciousness is a subject matter of experience. It is a subject matter of intuition. It is a subject matter of where you go, where words will stop. but your experiences will actually keep on going. And it was Net Block who talked about phenomenal consciousness and access consciousness. Sometime I'll be dealing with this too, maybe in a separate video. We talk about Bhutakasha, that is the material space. Chitakasha is a mind space, and Chittakasha is a mind space, and Chittakasha is a consciousness. So there's an interplay actually. The more we delve into the Upanishad, we'll find that more things will be coming into play. Ken Upanishad again is a great Upanishad, because Ken Upanishad, the word Ken talks about by whom. Kenistam patati preistam mana keni prana pratamaha praiti ukti kenistam vachamamam vadanti chakshu strotam kayudo unakti. So here again it's a great quote, the first mantra of the Ken Upanishad, because it is talking about it is by whom the mind is getting activated. It is by whom the prana is getting activated, and who gives the power to speak, who gives power to see, and who is behind the mind, who actually activates the thought. And these are all very, very intriguing. And stay tuned. We'll be talking more on the subject matter of consciousness from the Upanishads.